she had me sit down with dog food and eat that. That is something that has been ingrained in my brain, that I don't deserve food.
This woman was severely abused as a child.
As far as describing my childhood, I'd say it's not for the faint of heart.
But who was this woman who made her eat dog food? How did she manage to escape? And what happened to her abuser?
My great aunt legally adopted me at the age of 2.5. As soon as I moved in, it was the emotional abuse and just kind of negligence. And then it just slowly escalated to things getting taken away, like food or my bed. It went from taking a few things to just blatantly taking everything out of the room to where it was barren. It would get physical, and then it just got overly violent.
Her aunt's cruelty got progressively worse as Sykora got older, sometimes even caging and treating her like a dog.
I was around 6. She had 3 different dogs. She had a large dog, a medium dog, and a small dog. The cage that I was left in when she would leave would be smaller. I had a hanger that I was pulling things closer to the cage itself, so I had something to do, and then I tried to push it away before she'd come back down. I remember my aunt had me step on a scale, and I was 26 pounds at the time, and she was freaking out. And her resolution to this was having me eat dog food. She did not want to give me my humanity back, so instead she had me sit down with dog food and eat that instead to put on the weight.
Thanks to a tip-off, police and social workers were finally able to intervene.
There were cars pulling up aggressively. I was very much just sitting there in the corner of the bathroom thinking I was completely hidden. The police officer goes around to the bathroom window where I was in and tries to make contact with me. I was not answering. You don't talk to the police. That's what I was always taught. So that as far as they knew, there was a child, which was me, in the home alone, not responding. So that was their call to action. That was their opportunity to be like, we can do this now.
But if you thought this was the happy ending to the story, you thought wrong.
I went back into the system. It was just house to house, shelter to shelter, until I finally aged out. But each house had their own set of trauma that it added on. I was down on my luck. I was homeless.
But then someone who had rescued Sykora from a desperate situation once before came back into her life. The police officer who had saved her all those years before had never forgotten her.
I got a message saying, "This is Eric Grudenhagen from the Davenport Police Department. I just want to take you out to lunch sometime." And so I messaged him back, and sure enough, a few days later, we were set up for lunch. When I got out of the car, the way that everyone kind of reacted, they weren't expecting me to look the way that I did, to be in the same frail position that I was when he left. And I think that's what really called him back into action. The GoFundMe was set for $15,000 and we reached $10,000. And that's how I was able to move from homeless to where I am now.
Sykora is in a better living situation, but now she has to deal with both the physical and mental effects of the abuse she experienced.
I suffer from psychosocial dwarfism. I went through so much trauma and received so little nutrients that in order to protect myself, my brain and my body just stopped growing. There's no adrenaline going through my body now that everything's settled, that everything's good. My body doesn't even kind of want to keep up with it. I have narcolepsy now. I've got heart problems.
And as for her abusive great aunt, justice caught up with her, but not as much as you might expect.
She was supposed to get 50 years. 3 years in, she gets out on work release due to good behavior. And then 2 years later, she's scot-free, living her life. So she got 5 years. This is my story, but it's not who I am. That doesn't mean that I'm going to forget it, though. I need to continue to learn from it and adapt to it. I am seen. Are you?